Hello, folks. Dustin Zarni here, and welcome to Commissioner Carr. I'm the Commissioner of Elections for Onondaga County Board of Elections, the Democratic Commissioner. And this is my weekly election news podcast. We're getting right in to Election Day. It's 49 days away. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today is Prop 1. That's the main point of this podcast. But let me also touch on what today is. Today is National Voter Registration Day. That's right. This is a national movement done by, spearheaded by the Election Assistance Commission, which I'm a part of, on the local leadership council. And this is a nationwide movement to get you to focus on registering to vote. You may remember earlier, late last month, on the last day of August, I did a Zarni seminar on how to register to vote. I just shared that in all my feeds recently as well. And of course, you can find it at DustinZarni.com. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But today's the day to do a few things. You can go check your voter registration. And if you're in New York, go to onvote.net. That's Onondaga County's Board of Elections website. And there's a link right on the front page to check your polling location and your voter registration. You do it in the same tool. It goes to the State Board website. Obviously, you can go directly to the State Board website as well. But if you're an Onondaga County voter, you may want to do some other things. So go to onvote.net and it'll get you right there. You can enter in your information. It'll tell you where you're currently registered in New York, if you are, what your party is, and what your and what your polling place is. And if you look at your address and all the other things and you say everything's great, no need to register, please don't send us in another form. We're already 17,000 forms behind at the Onondaga County Board of Elections. Every Board of Elections is thousands of registrations behind. We'll get caught up by Election Day. But we are processing voter registrations every day, and that's why I say check your voter registration first, especially if you voted before. If your information is still correct, you don't want to change anything, you don't have to do anything. But if you do want to change something, or if you are not registered, you can register online. That is the fastest and best way to register to vote. It's right on, again, onvote.net. There's another button right next to it where it'll say you can actually register online. And you can do that. You can also apply for an absentee ballot application if you're already registered right online. And those absentee ballots are going to go out, or vote by mail ballots, early vote by mail ballots. They're going to go out on September 20th, which is Friday. Sorry, I had a little glitch. But if you're interested in that, go online and apply for that. Everything's quicker if you do it online. It's quicker for us at the Board of Elections. It's quicker to get your stuff processed. But we still have forms available online. You can print them up and mail them in. You can come down to our office and fill out a form as well and do all of that in our office as well. And starting Monday, we will have absentee ballots ready in the office that you could just come down and get them and vote and start voting and be done with the election if that's what you choose to do. So that's the gist of National Voter Registration Day. Now, let's talk about Prop 1. Prop 1, every election on the back of your ballot in New York is the propositions. On the front of the ballot are the candidates for office, but on the back of your ballot is where the propositions live. And that's by law. We cannot put the propositions on the front of the ballot. And what are propositions are ballot questions that voters get to choose on. Now, in New York, it's actually kind of rare to get ballot questions. In other states, they actually have ballot questions, direct ballot amendments. You see those things going on in Ohio and Arizona about the abortion amendments, where voters can circulate petitions and send them out and hopefully they can get a law changed that maybe the legislature didn't want to change. In New York, we do not have that. But when we do propositions, it's because either the New York State Legislature or your local town or city board put a proposition on the ballot that the voters need to ratify. And the most common thing for the statewide propositions is an amendment to the New York State Constitution. A New York constitutional amendment has to be passed twice by a sitting legislature, or two different legislators, I'm sorry. So you pass it once, then you wait 2 years and pass it again, and then it goes on the ballot that next year for the voters to ratify. So it's been a long road for this Prop 1 to get on the ballot. And it's also known as the ERA Amendment because it is the Equal Rights Amendment to the New York State Constitution. So I'm going to read a couple things. Don't you like it when I read to you? But first, I'm going to read you the prop language, the language itself that is going to be on the ballot and that you're going to have to decide yes or no. It says, amendment to protect against unequal treatment. This proposal would protect against unequal treatment based on ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, and sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, and pregnancy. It also protects against unequal treatment based on reproductive health care and autonomy. A yes vote puts these protections in the New York State Constitution. A no vote leaves these protections out of the state constitution. That's the official language, ratified by the state board, altered by a judge, and it is done. The court case is done. That is the language that's going to appear. Now, there's been some controversy over this language. In New York State, we passed a law a couple of years ago that said all propositions have to have an 8th grade reading level or as close to practicable as an 8th grade reading level. The State Board of Commissioners couldn't quite agree on the language of this proposal. And finally, when they came to an agreement, and the Republicans didn't want LGBTQ or abortion in the language of the proposal. And unfortunately, they held out. The Democrats had to get to a deadline. They put this forward, and it was judged at a 13th grade reading level, not an 8th grade reading level. Mainly because reproductive health care it could have said abortion, and sexual orientation could have said LGBTQ. Those were some of the things that the advocates were not very happy about. That being said, a vote to put the ERA amendment in the New York State Constitution, a yes vote, will protect LGBTQ people and also the right to abortion in New York State. So a yes vote puts those in there. So that is the actual question on the ballot. I'm going to read to you what the text of the proposal is. And now all of this is found on our website, onvote.net. And if you go to the sample ballot, it links right to the New York State page, which has all of the information on there. We do that a lot at Onondaga County because if New York State changes their wording, then we don't have to change our website. It goes right to the New York State Board. It's not laziness. It's because things change because of court rulings and other things. And we don't have always the time, and we want it to be as legal as possible, as quick as possible. So I'm going to read the resolution that was passed by the Senate and the Assembly, just so we can go into this a little bit more, because the ballot question is one thing, but the resolution is another one. Resolved, if the Assembly occurs, that Section 11 of Article 1 of the Constitution be amended to read as follows. 11A, no person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws of the state or any subdivision thereof. No person shall, because of race or color, and now it adds, ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, creed, or religion, and it adds again, or sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy outcomes, and reproductive health care and autonomy be subjected to any discrimination in his or her, it takes out his or her and puts in their civil rights by any other person or by any fire, corporation, or institution, or by the state or any agency or subdivision of the state pursuant to law. And then it adds this whole next B section. B, nothing in this section shall invalidate or prevent the adoption of any law, regulation, program, or practice that is designed to prevent or dismantle discrimination on the basis of a characteristic listed in this section. Nor shall any characteristic listed in this section be interpreted to interfere with, limit, or deny the civil rights of any person based upon any other characteristic identified in this section. And then the second part of the resolution is resolved if the assembly occurs that the foregoing amendment be submitted to the people for approval at the general election to be held in the year of 2024 in accordance to the provisions of the law. So it was passed by the Assembly and Senate this year. It was its second passage. And so the ERA amendment is on the ballot and will be on your ballot no matter where you are in New York State. A yes vote votes to put these extra protections in there that will extend to LGBTQ people and people that are of sexual orientation, pregnancy, and also it protects reproductive health care. So if that's something you're for, you should vote yes for this. If you're against having those protections in the Constitution, you should vote no on this. So that is Prop 1. Now, in Onondaga County, we actually train our inspectors to hand the ballot to the voters with the proposition side up. That way, the voters will see that when they open their voter blind, and be able to. You hear my dogs barking. Sorry. Open the voting, the little folder that we give you to protect your ballot. You see it right away, so you know that it's there. Of course, you do not have to vote on it. You can leave any contest blank or any ballot option blank. But that is what we do in Onondaga County as a way to let people know that there is a proposition on the ballot. Finally, there will be other propositions throughout New York State. These are local propositions where a local town or city board will put them on there. There'll be 2, 3, 4, whatever, depending on how many there are. In Onondaga County, we only have one town that has put up a proposition in this presidential election to be on the ballot, and that is the town of Geddes has put up a proposition to do to change their supervisor from 2 years to 4 years. It's something that the voters have to approve, and so the town of Geddes will have that proposition on the ballot as well. So that's all about propositions and National Voter Registration Day. Please go out there and make sure you're registered. Make sure you make a choice on the prop, and enjoy the rest of your week. Later this week, I'll be doing another Czarny seminar on September 20th. I'll be doing a Czarny seminar, I hope. It'll go either out that day or the next day on absentee ballots. On Friday, we will be sending out our first vote-by-mail ballots or absentee ballots. So I'm going to be doing a Czarny seminar on how to apply and vote by mail. And I'll be doing it myself. I won't be showing you my ballot, but I will be doing it. I will use that as part of our seminar on Friday. And then on this week, on the weekly wonk, I'll be doing the town of Fabius. The last week, I did the 2023 annual budget, and that was done I talked about our budget, or I'm sorry, our 2023 annual report. I talked about our budget and how we did last year because we just released it in late August as we were waiting for data, and also we had 2 different primaries going on. So it took a little while for that annual report to be done. So you can all check about all of that at dustinzarny.com, and you can subscribe with an email and or give me your email. I'll send you an email every time I do content or election news updates. And as always, it's always free. I never charge. I will never sell ads. This is something that I pay for out of my own pocket as part of my voter outreach to Onondaga County. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.